Hello everyone, my name's Calvin and this is the Tech I Missed, and today, moving on from the Mac Classic, we're going to look at one of my Macintosh Pluses. What we're going to do with this is, realized I had this thing, which I forgot I had, which is a SCSI to SD. And this actually, this SD card, it's only 8 gigabytes, and I have a Mac Plus system on it, and maybe sometime we'll go into how this works, but basically you have to get a disk image copy and copy a disk image, basically copy the image of the disks. You can't just copy the files onto it just willy-nilly. You have to actually go through a process. It can be kind of hard at first, but once you get used to it, it's not bad. In any case, so this has my Mac Plus system on it. And what we're going to do is, there's a modification you can do to make this run off of the SCSI power, because right now the Mac Plus doesn't provide the 5 volts for this to work. So you have to plug it in with a USB adapter, and I don't like that. I just want to be able to plug it in and go. The newer models of the Macs don't have that problem. The ones newer than the Plus, that is. They provide power from the SCSI to this, but the Pluses don't. But there is a spot on the board for a diode that goes to the SCSI, and there's no diode there, but if you put a diode there, you will get power, the 5 volt power, to the SCSI. So I'm going to do that. That's one thing I'm going to do, and we're also going to do a little bit of retrobrighting on this keyboard. What I'm going to do is I've already got the screws out, but I'm going to clean all of this off, and so the bottom's not really dirty, but around the keys is kind of dirty, so I'm just going to do a little bit of cleaning around it. Clean out the inside of this, and I'm going to show you basically my tub retrobrighting system that works really well. So have a look at this right now. Have a good look at it, see how it looks. It's pretty brown, yellow. When we're done, it should look pretty good. I'm not going to retrobright this right now because I don't have a deep enough tub. I need to find a tub that's deep enough that will use the same lid as mine, because I don't want to have to make another UV light system. I mean, I can, but I just don't really want to. It takes a little bit of time, and I just don't want to do it. I'd rather just go buy a tub. So when I find a tub, when I go out and look for a tub, I haven't actually looked. I want to make sure the lid is the same size, so I have to take some measurements and see. In any case, so let's get started on this, and the first thing I think we're going to do is I am going to just turn this on and let you see how the SCSI connector basically boots up like a hard drive. Well, it mimics a hard drive, so yeah, that's what it's going to do. Okay. And as before, I said I have to use power to it, but this will be one of the last times that I have to do that. So now we have it plugged in. We'll just turn it on. Goes pretty fast. Boom. No disk, no nothing. There we have it. Our whole system on here. And what I can do is I can take the SD card out, I can plug it into my computer, and I can use Basilisk to mount the disk onto Basilisk, and I can add more programs if I want to, which, like, you know, for here, for instance, this is for assembly language for programming, so, which is something I will be doing in other videos. But yeah, so I don't know that for sure that I would be actually programming with the computer, because it's just not as convenient, and I can do it on an emulator, and then plus have, you know, the internet and everything I need to research things if I need to. So I probably won't be doing any programming on this, but of course I will take the files from my computer, my modern computer, to this, so, and testing them and things like that. So yeah, so that's how that works. So right now I'm going to shut this down, and I think the first thing I'm going to do is clean this keyboard up a little bit and show you the retrobrighting system. So let's do that right now. All right, let's take some keys off. We're not going to show it all though, because it's pointless. So here is the top of my tub, and all I did was I bought one of these LED strips, and these are UV, so obviously you have to cut these up and then wire them together, and I just covered the whole top with these, and this stuff actually sticks really well. I mean, it does come up in some places where it's not flat, but where it's flat, I mean, it's pretty much on there. Of course, I cleaned this off with alcohol before I stuck these on, but yeah, it works pretty well. I did, of course, I did use this to retrobright this, as you can see, and it looks pretty good. This was maybe not quite the color of the keyboard, but it was pretty close to the same. So what I'm going to do is just set this aside, and I am going to start putting on the peroxide that I have. So let's do that right now. Here's another outrageously long part that we're going to super speed through because I'm just putting keys on this saran wrap here. So let's do it. I'm missing my brush. I'm not going to use the brush for these though anyway, so let's go ahead and do this. So I'm just going to pour some on these. I'm not going to go super crazy with it, but I want to make sure they all get covered, which I will do in a minute. Now, one thing I do want is to not have these really close to each other, so I want to make sure all of them get UV and evenly. So I'm just going to get these as coated as possible. I think I will just do this. You want to make sure not to have, you want it tight. You don't want to have folds in it, because I think people have had issues with things, you know, with like lines or spots or things not getting retrobrighted fully, and they have leave like, you know, like I said, lines or marks. They look like a cheetah or something. And I think it's because they have wrinkles in their wrap and the light doesn't hit the object evenly. I want that to be as fine as possible. Some big pieces, and I'm going to put a cross out on them. And this is not going to need that much. That's okay. And I'm just going to spread it around. This one. Here, sorry. Leave on. Let's go through it. That, like, over the. This. It doesn't want to flatten out. And it should be okay. The point is to make sure that the UV light can get through to those parts. So the more plastic in the way, the more I'm so used to using my fingernails for things like this. Alright, I think that's okay. That should be alright. Really, the only time I've seen like issues is when it's like got like layers over it like this. I think this should be alright. If not, then maybe I'll redo it. I think it'll be okay though. So let's go from the tub. Well, it appears that's all not all gonna fit in the tub, so I'll have to move stuff around occasionally. So I'm just gonna do this. And here we go. Each of these inside. I will be moving the keys around. So I think maybe I might just take the keys out for now, because I don't think this is going to need very long. I think I will. No, I'm going to use my hands for this. So I'm going to leave the keys out for now because I don't want them to get a lot of varying degrees of varying degrees of UV. So I'm just going to put these in there. And we'll turn it on. Let's put the lid on it. I'm just going to put the lid on it here, and I'll turn the lights off and plug it in and show you what it looks like. Alright, so you can see that there. Let's turn this light off. This light. And this light. So, there it is. And like I said, we'll let that sit for, well, we'll see how long takes, but there are the keys, and we'll put those in once these are done. Okay, so I finally got this diode in here. It was a pain. This one, for some reason, I don't know, didn't want to go through here. I had to get a really pointy tip and basically just work my way through it, and I'm not sure if it's connected to anything or not, and I don't really know where to test the lead from. I'm just not sure. I could look at a schematic, I suppose, but yeah, I just don't know where this one, I think, this side I think is fine. I'm not sure about this. I did put some solder in from this side in case, I mean, I don't know how many layers are in this board, but it could be in a middle layer. So I just don't know. I'm gonna have to just test it and see if it works. Shouldn't hurt anything. If it doesn't work, it just won't give me the 5 volts power. But I would like to figure it out. Even if it's not working now, I'd like to get it figured out at some point. But anyway, there's that. So I'm also going to, I have some RAM. So I'm going to put 2 gigabytes of RAM into this. Or not 2 gigabytes. I wish. 2 megabytes. So, or I'm sorry, 4 megabytes. Comes with 1 base. You don't want to be in there yet. All right, there's 1. There's 2. All right, 1, 2. Three. this will be number 4. I think you can just slide this down, yeah. Alright. So now we have 4 megabytes of RAM. These are the old ones. I'll hold on to those in case I need them. For another one, but these are only 256 each. 256K. So these are 1 megabyte each. Not had a chance to test them, but I assume they work. I will assume they work until I see they don't work. Okay, so now I'm just waiting on the retrobrighting, and I'm also going to deal with this battery compartment. So I'm going to do that real quick. Let me get on that. Let's have a look at that real quick. So you can see here that the battery connections have some corrosion on them, and in here I don't even know what the heck that is, why it's blue, but I'm going to do, and then here on the power switch as well, but I don't really want to take all those off. I don't want to deal with this board. I'm pretty sure the caps are new, so I'm just going to spray some deoxide on here, and hopefully some of this will come off, and I can clean it up just a little bit. So I'm just going to let it soak. Oh wait, I want to get this too. I already did that. So yeah, so I'm just going to let that soak for a little bit. This is looking better now. I mean, they're not perfect, but they look a lot better than they did. But however, I did notice something. See this capacitor right here? See how it's bulging? Starting to bulge at the top. I don't really like that. I mean, these capacitors look pretty good, but I just don't trust it. I don't want to have to get back in here in the near future and have to fix a mess of a board that got exploded on by a capacitor. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and recap this, but I'm not going to film it. I'm just going to do it. However, I will say, if you do need capacitor kits, I have a few for the Mac Plus. So if you want to order one, you can order one from the website. There'll be a link. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to just, I didn't want to do this because it takes a while, but I think it needs done. So I'm going to replace these capacitors, and we'll move on to the next part after that. So anyway, these look better. That doesn't look that great, but it still looks better than it did, so I'm okay with it. I have the can't even think anymore. The analog board all recapped, and I went ahead and recapped the other board as well. This thing is a bitch to recap. It's the first time recapping a Plus. These aren't fun. It looks like shit, but you know, it'll work. I've done continuity tests, so I guess they work, and I did a continuity test on the, where's it at? It's over here somewhere. Oh, where is it? Oh yeah, right here. The diode seems to work, so I think it's ready. Whenever these are the old caps. Where's that one? That was bulging. There was one that was bulging. There it is. A little bulging, but still. It's better to get rid of them now while I have it all out. Anyway, so Now I'm just waiting for the case to get done. It's night now, so I'm doing the case side by side, or not side by side, but a side at a time, and so it'll be done shortly, whenever. You won't know the difference, but yeah, so I'm waiting for that to get done. I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff out of my way, throw these away, and get started on the keyboard. So when I get the keyboard, at some point I will film the keyboard. Okay, so here we have the keyboard case. I think it turned out pretty well. This was done in my little UV box. I'm satisfied with it. So now I'm going to put it together. Looks a little whiter here than other places, but I mean the rest of it looks good, so I don't know what that could be, but it's just one tiny little spot. I think it looks great. So alright, I'll put it together now. Here we are. I wouldn't say good as new, but looks pretty darn good. The front of it isn't, still a little discolored, but that's okay. I think it looks good. Put a comparison video up over here, or maybe over here. I guess it depends on how I edit it. But in any case, there's the finished keyboard. So just a little bit more to do. Gotta put the computer back together and yeah, try it out. So we'll get to that next. I had to take the RAM out that I put in because it would not boot at all. I got the sad Mac face immediately on booting with the 4 megabytes of RAM. So I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if the RAM's bad or what. I'll try it in another Mac Plus that I have, or maybe the Classic. In any case, also the diode for this, it wasn't working. So what I did was I just put a jumper wire from the 5 volts to the end of the diode. So the diode's still working as needed. It's not going to let it's going to block electricity from going this way, or current from going this way. But if you ever need to know, starting with the part with the gap, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th pin is 5 volts. So be careful, but yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So pin 6 right here, which is this pin right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, is the 5 volt line. And I just brought it straight to here and it works. So no big deal. It seems to work fine. And yes, these capacitors look like crap, but they were a nightmare. They won't go through. It's just, I'm pretty sure that the lines for these capacitors are sandwiched somewhere inside the board. I don't know how many layers this board has. I think it's 4, but in any case, they're working, but I had a hell of a time. And the next time, I'm just going to use not these. I'm going to use different capacitors next time if I ever redo a Mac Plus board, because these are silly. I'm lucky they're working. Let's put it that way. Anyway, this works. So I'm going to put this back together, and I will show you it working. So here we have it. It's been retrobrighted. The front did not turn out as well as the rest of it, but then again, I only put this out in the sun for a couple of hours, and the sun is not very good right now, of course, so this would need to be done again, but I'm not going to mess with it right now. It's good enough for now. I mean, none of this stuff is, I mean, this is all for me. So, sometime in the future, I might redo the front part. As you can see, it's a bit different than the rest of it. But that's okay. It's just for me anyway, so. If I were to sell something like this, then I would make sure that it was, I would fix the capacitors. I would fix the capacitors and I would retrobright it better, but I don't have any interest in selling it, or, you know, you never know, but at this point in time, I don't. Let me just get a mouse. That's all I need right now. Okay, so I have the, as you can see, I'll take it back out. I have the SCSI 2 SD, and it's not plugged in. It's going to work from the SCSI power, which, like I showed you before, I had to connect to the 5-volt rail, but not a big deal. Here we go, we got Happy Mac. Kind of sucks that RAM doesn't work. I don't know if it's, I probably got bad RAM. I got it off eBay, so who knows. Need to clean the screen up, but so yeah, here we go. This is my SD card, and we got everything I want for right now. Anyway, and of course the disk drive does work, so I can use that as well. So there we go. The Mac Plus done and ready for me to play with. Of course, I have played with it before, but it's looking pretty good. Looks good. Works well. I'm happy with it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Like, subscribe. Oh yeah, and again, if you want capacitor kits for this, I do have them for sale on the website. It's just, I always buy extra. So, I mean, it's cheaper for me if I buy a bunch. So, and you can do the same if you'd like. But I do have kits laid out in baggies. So, I have analog board kits and logic board kits. So you can buy either one of those, and they're available on the website. So again, thank you for watching, and take care.